Hey! Welcome back, everybody. I'm Jade Monkey. We're back here in Rust, talking about that Rust Console Edition for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Next Generations, and everything in between. And today, we're going over Horse Update Guide. So, full disclosure, as of recording this in late March, we still don't know what our PTB update's going to be, and we're guessing it could be the horse stuff. So, here's where this sits. So, the horse update is going to happen at some point. Again, it'll be on PTB first, and then it'll go to main or normal Rust. So we're kind of taking a long shot here. So even if this doesn't come in March 2022, this will happen soon enough. So this is more or less like what to expect for the horse update, or more or less a horse guide, if that makes sense. And here we go. All right, so I think right away we're going to get the first iteration of horses as they stand, where they just spawn around the map, and then you have to collect them. That's how that typically works. That's how it worked back on PC a long time ago, and then we got ranches. Now, there's a slight chance, and I know you guys have heard this, there could be ranches. Ram Ranch? No, just regular ranches where you actually buy them. I don't think that's going to be a thing for us. And again, I know I've showed this quite a few times, but this is where you would buy the horses, and you'd buy a saddle, which is 75 scrap. I think that'll be in the game eventually, but I just don't think that'll be your first iteration. Just so you know, so if somehow we do get ranches, you'll be like, oh, that's where I go find horses. I would just assume that they're going to be spawning around the map, and then you'll have to collect them and bring them home. So this is how they typically work. So you'll find a horse randomly. Actually, I don't think I have a horse that hasn't been fed, but when you find them, they'll usually be low on health. And so you have to feed them. You can drop food in front of their face. Let me see, get this little guy to stop right here. If you drop food in front, come on, buddy, whoa, boy. And then, by the way, if you hit control, I'm sorry, crouch for us on console side, they'll kick up like that, and it's actually a good way to stop them. I got super stacks here. So if you drop a piece of food in front of him, I think he's not hungry anymore. You can drop pickles in front of them. It'll actually help with their statistics. Right now, if you get on top of the horse, you can see above my bars there, and I now have a lightning bolt, which is stamina. And once you hit, what would it be? Running, which would be pushing in a thumbstick for us, wouldn't it? They will actually go faster like this. So we're going to go over the different terrain types and stuff here in a second, but I just kind of want to show you different ways you can control them. Now, you can stick horseshoes on them to make them go faster. You can also craft them as well. That'll be a thing that goes out in the wild. But what you want to do is you want to feed them by either dropping food in front of them or crafting what's called a trough. And let's see if it's under, is it under items? I think it is. There we go. There's a trough. It's 200 wood. And what's cool is you can ride up to the trough itself, and you can put them right on there. They kind of vacuum to the top here, like this, and then they'll start to eat if they need some. Another thing, when you're on top of the horse, if you look down, you can see its health. Well, I guess it's full health, so you can't really tell. But if you do hit examine, you hold your action wheel, you can see its health right here. It's 400. Oh, look, he's eating right there. What's really cool is if you hold the action button on the horse, like this, you can ride the horse or you can lead the horse. This is a nice way to do it on foot. And if you see if there's uneven terrain, they'll kind of just get stuck. And I guess it's worth going over the fact that horses just move forward, and they can pivot on their feet and then to go backwards. They don't actually go backwards, if that makes sense. So if there's a cliff or something too steep for them to climb over, they will just get stuck on it, and you'll have to turn them completely around. Let me see if this one works here. Okay, here's a good example. I'm leading him, and he won't go up this surface because it's too high. And if you have another surface, whether it be a rock or your foundations, he should be able to step over this. There you go. See how he just kind of stepped up? Step up, step up. So they're kind of bulky boys. So one of the first things you're going to want to do, because I'm fairly certain for us on the console edition, see, he just stepped up, we're going to get these spawning around the map. So what you want to do is capture them and then feed them so they stay in your possession for as long as possible. So you're going to want to build a trough for sure, but you want to be able to stick them indoors. Let me go ahead and hold the action button and disable the leading, and we're going to ride them in. So I want to show you different places you can actually stick these guys and store them. So believe it or not, they don't go through a standard door. But if you have a wall frame, they will go through a garage door easily with a rider on it. If you open this here, I'll show you right now. But we did find out, this is something that I learned recently, you can use a double door. Now, it will knock the rider off, or you can jump off and let him run through, but they'll also allow the horse to walk through the entryway. So we'll show you right here with the double doors. We'll talk about uneven surfaces and how to go up. See right here, the double door. It knocks me off, but the horse is still going forward. So even if you don't have the garage door BP, double doors will work for you. Just know that standard doors do not. Okay, so now let's talk about ramps and different surfaces. Oh, see how he just kind of walked out? Okay, so what's really weird is I know we have building 2.0 more or less, or is it 4.0 for us? Either way. So ramps do work, but you have to stay off of this netting area in the middle, and they will definitely walk up and down. But the downside to using ramps are it's 2 over and up 1, right? So it takes up a lot more surface area. If you look here, it takes this square up and this square up just to go up one level. You can use standard stairs that we have had in the game now for a while. You can place them, but they're a little fickle. I've found that certain upgrades kind of work better than others, but if you kind of aim for this piece I'm walking on here with the horse, it tends to go better. Sometimes if you go dead on in the center of the stairs, your horse will get stuck. And so if you've got a garage for your horse and you're trying to stow them quickly, it can be a bit of a problem. Although a bit of practice and you'll be fine either way. I notice Twig's a bit more difficult to go up the center. You almost have to, see I'm kind of angling towards the wood piece. You almost have to zigzag your way up. So that does work. Just keep that in mind in some of the surfaces. So practice before you dedicate that, before it's concretes back in, so you'll have the ability to erase it if you want to. I'd say the right thing for the right, see how I'm stuck right now? Like on the top of the stairs, it's really weird. So try it out, see what works for your situation, because sometimes uneven terrain can be very difficult. Now, I think one of the best stairs you can possibly have internally, and even externally, but you know how roofs are rooftops like this. Now, they do have a caveat because they are fickle with the way you place them, but if you zigzag up them, you can use a 1x1 square to actually, see how I'm kind of zigzagging my way up? That does work. You kind of come off a little like crooked a little bit, and if your character is doing that, you can either dismount or remount, or sometimes you can just hit the crouch button and that'll even you out. But see, you can actually go up 1x1 square pretty easily, kind of. You just zigzag your horse all the way up. So if you want to make a multi-tiered garage for your horses, that's a good way to do it. All right, so let's go back downstairs. So one of the other things that horses do is poop. I don't think we'll have the implementation of that initially, but when we do get farming, or initially electricity and then farming 2.0, this will become a valuable, super valuable commodity. Yeah, big time. You'll be able to convert this into fertilizer and then trade that at the bandit camp for actual scrap. But for now, I think you can still use it for fertilizing, but it really doesn't have a really good use or a useful use yet. They may even take out the horse pooping initially because it really doesn't have anything that's valuable yet. But just know that when we do get electricity and farming 2.0, saving horses and their poop is going to be a massive thing. So just keep that in mind. Okay, on to the next piece here. We do have horse hooves. Hooves? Horseshoes. Jeez. Let me go ahead and bring up the items here, and I believe it's under attire. We have basic horseshoes, and we have a high-quality horseshoes. If we look at the horse's statistics, it tells you its max speed 48 or 46.8 kilometers. If we stick on the fancy horseshoes, it's now 55. And the stamina is 60 out of 60. Now, different colored horses have different stats, so keep that in mind too. Sometimes you'll get a not so fast horse in the wild, and sometimes you do. It just depends. It's just based off the horse. And we'll put a basic horseshoe on there. Look, he's just 47. You can place armor on the horses. Now, I would assume we have the hybrid version where you can't stack, like you go really slow. There was this meta back in the day where you could take an armored horse and put on that heavy armor, the one that's the teapot or whatever on your head, right? Something you boil noodles in, and you could wear that and run around with shotguns on a horse, but they nerfed that to the point where you can't even use that armor anymore. As a matter of fact, let me just show you what this is. Beep, boop, boop, boop. By the way, I'm an admin if you can figure that out. So like any of this gear that you put on, now if you try to get on the horse, it just says you're too heavy. Now, we could get the implementation before this, and if that's the case, I'm telling you right now, the best meta is to wear that gear and grab a Spets and just ride around on a horse and blast everybody. Just letting you know, that's going to be a thing. And if it's not, it'll be exactly the way it is on PC right now. But right here, you can actually move around, and you can pivot. Notice they are a lot slower now. See, I'm even hitting the run button, and this guy is super slow. But you can run around and actually, like, gat people as you're on the horse. You can use a bow, crossbow. You can use weapons, you name it pretty much. You can even shoot rockets off these bad boys. Really, the armor is cute, but they nerfed it so badly. If we do get that implementation, the best thing to do is just get a fast horse and just book it, to be perfectly honest. And I think the hardest place probably to traverse the horses is going to be in a hilly area. So you're really going to map out areas where you can navigate it quickly and then just move through. You'll avoid hills whenever you can, let's put it that way. See, like we even have a triangular roof tile, and we have a square roof tile. We just zigzag our way up, and you can easily go to multi-floors. So there you go. That's the horse update. Whether it comes in March or a little bit later, these are going to be the implementations that we're going to see for us, because we do know that they are working on this. And unless something goes into the Straits of Dire, everything looks like we're going to get horses. It's just a matter of when. So if you found this useful and helpful, be sure to drop a like. It does help out tremendously. We'll let you guys know officially what's coming out in March. But either way, this should be useful for everybody. So if you like it, you think you're into it, consider dropping that subscribe and turning on that notification bell, and we will catch you in the next one. Beep, beep, boop, boop, beep.